What is going on YouTube and Spotify? This is the Just the Essen podcast. And I know at the end of the episode last week, I my computer decided to stop doing the things it was supposed to do and just lost sound like all altogether. I couldn't hear anything, and then my mic wasn't spitting anything out. So it was beautiful. It was a wonderful ending to our episode. Unfortunately, we weren't really talking about anything specific. We were just going to give our takes on what the Super Bowl was going to be like, and it was pretty stupid because it was a snooze fest up until the very end. So you didn't really miss much if you got out of the episode before then, but it was hilarious trying to like play it back and just be like, oh my gosh, like that's when it started. And then now I could hear what you were hearing, which was like a very little like faint. Like you could barely hear me at all, and then it was just nothing. So that was weird. But not really like a whole lot to discuss. Just another solid week of Cavs basketball. Harden and the Cavs are fully in effect, and we finally got to see it on display. And we didn't really get to talk about that so much as to more so it was what we were going to expect from Harden. Boy, I got to tell you, it's been pretty fun so far. The first 3 games of the Harden era, it's been pretty solid. The Cavs are scoring. They've been super efficient, and they've gutted out a few really tough wins. One against a very good Denver team on the road to end that road trip. Man, I mean, what can you say about this Cavs team right now? Because I think we've only lost 1 game out of the last, like, what is it, like 14 games or something, or whatever it is. We've been doing pretty freaking good over the last 3 or 4 weeks now.
Yeah, I mean, it almost feels like the Cavs are officially back, and they're back to what they were last year. This team is now dominating games. They're playing really good ball, and for the people panicking at the start of the season, like, oh no, the Cavs are doomed. The Cavs are going to be trash this year. Like, it's over. Like, it's the same thing we've been saying at the start of the season. It's just be patient with this team. You can't expect to go 15-0 to start every single season just because we did it last year. I mean, look at the case in point with Detroit. Detroit last year barely scraped into the postseason or whatever, and then they had a good run. And then now they're dominating the league right now. But that doesn't mean they're going to go into the postseason and wreak havoc. They could easily get swept in the first round, whoever they play, and their season's over just like that. So just because you don't finish first or whatever, like, this is why we always say playoffs always matter, and you should always save everything for the playoffs, because regular season doesn't matter. The whole point of regular season is just to make it to the playoffs. The playoffs is what counts the most. So
Yeah,
going 15-0, it's the same thing we said about the Warriors when they went 72-9 or 73-9, was the fact that, yeah, they went 73-9. They're the best regular season team we've ever seen until they faced the Cavs in the finals and choked it. So that 73-9, yeah, it's a record, but no one's going to remember it because, well, you didn't win the title. So now that whole season for them just doesn't matter anymore. It was worthless. So it's like the 15-0 last year, worthless. So you can't expect to go 15-0 to start every single season. The Cavs have, like you said, in the last few weeks have started playing good ball. They made a good addition in James Harden, who's been playing astounding ever since he's gotten here. The Cavs with him have looked astronomically better. And, the only thing we could look forward to is good things for the rest of the season. You got another month and a half left of regular season basketball before the playoffs start towards end of April, mid-April, end of April.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it really helps of the fact that Harden is just a seasoned vet at this point. Like, he's been through it. He knows how this thing goes. And I think the most positive part about what you're seeing is he seems bought in. Like
Mm-hmm.
he is starting to vibe with the team. And he's all about just winning. Like he doesn't really care about much else. He wants to win. And I think he is hyper focused on trying to get to the dance. I mean, he's been so close and yet so far so many times. And this is a opportunity that he sees in front of him of being like, hey, like this team has the ability um, to go the distance and make a run here, especially with how the East is sort of shaped up right now, with how injury ridden they are. I personally don't really think the East got too much better at the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, there were some teams that made some good moves, but I just really felt that the Cavs made the move I think that is going to make the biggest stride and the most impact out of Zubac and
Mm-hmm.
uh who was the kid from or the dude from the Bulls, the guy that got traded as well, the center.
Oh, Vucevic.
Yeah, like those moves were great for the teams that got them, but again, I don't think it's necessarily going to make the impact that that Harden is going to make on this team because you see it. I mean, the offense is starting to flow a little bit better. It's taking a lot of weight off of Donovan. Like Donovan can now play off ball where I think he's a lot more comfortable. You know, when you look back at his time in Utah, I think the biggest thing that you got to remember and the thing that people often forget about is he had a guy named Mike Conley who was able to facilitate and do all of the point guard
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Mitchell could just dog. And Harden has not taken anything away from Mitchell. Like he knows that this is sort of his team and he wants to just help facilitate the offense because he's going to get his own. I mean, he only shot 4 shots last night, but he was 10 to 12 at the free throw line. So Harden is going to get points. But he is better at picking and choosing when he needs to go on those runs and when he just needs to
Mm-hmm.
pass. Like last night, it was a great night for Sam Merrill, career night, 32 points, 9 of 10 from 3. I mean, that is just an unbelievable 7 of 7 from 3 at halftime, 9 of 9 for field goals at halftime. It was just a really, really fun game where everybody else got to do their thing. But Jared Allen is continuing to be a monster, and I think he's being elevated more now by Harden, and that makes the eventual addition to when Mobley comes back after the All-Star break that much more exciting. So, again, I know like it's really tough for us to not want to like pump the brakes because it is 3 games in, but the Cavs have not even been able to practice with James Harden. They've only been able to go over film and sort of just talk over things. And they're just playing off of vibes, as they literally keep saying. And it's just been fun. It's been fun. Even the addition with Schroeder and Ellis brings a juice to that next unit that you're not going to get crazy scoring, but you're going to get guys that are going to be able to still make an impact and still help make runs while a guy like Harden is out, while Donovan's in, or the opposite where you have Harden in and Donovan out. It's working right now, and you can only kind of go up from here. In terms of what you can do and your your limits. And tell you what, man, we got a pretty tough road ahead after the All-Star break. And I know we've kind of discussed that a little bit last week, but you come after the All-Star break and you got the Nets, you got the Hornets, and then you got OKC on the road, and then the Knicks the day after. That is automatically a tough weekend. But then you have the next week where you're going to play Detroit not once, but twice. This is a good time for this team to have all of these questions because you're going to get some answers playing teams like
Mm-hmm.
this. You're going to get some answers as to, okay, where are we and where can we go? Because the last time we played OKC was the last time that we lost a game. Besides, there was one more game that we lost about 2 weeks ago, I think, on the road. I think that was Hunter's last game. Like he was the leading scorer in that game. Shoot, who was that? I think it was
Uh,
Utah or something that beat us.
I want to say it was too. I could always go back to it real quick.
But it really doesn't matter. The point is,
it was the Suns.
Well, yeah, that's right. It was the Suns. The Suns beat us up because I think we didn't have a few guys. Because Donovan, I think, was out that game too. But again, the last time that we played the Thunder, they beat the brakes off of us, and I was on my cruise at that time, so I didn't get to watch it. I just saw the score, and I was like, "Whoo, that doesn't seem like a very good game." But Shai's been out, and they've still been playing really, really good. And they made some moves at the deadline. So, OKC is still going to be good, and this is going to be a very important game for them to kind of get sort of that. Where are we? And then you follow up with the Knicks, who have been on some struggles, but they're still a top 4 team in the East. I mean, they're going to be ones that contend in the playoffs, regardless of how much they're struggling now. So it's a good test. It's a good start. But I tell you what, the game against the Nuggets was the one that impressed me the most because they did struggle a little bit on offense. Like they went down double digits twice at least in that game, if not more. And the Cavs just continued to kind of battle back. And Donovan blew some trades, and then Harden blew some trades, and Jared Allen just stayed aggressive, and they just battled and battled and battled until the final whistle. And it is the thing that we've been kind of missing. Unfortunately, when Garland was here, we just didn't really seem to have that fight. Ever since the trade, man, there's just been a juice that is just flowing through this team that only us fans can kind of see, but the players clearly feel it because they have been riding a mega high since the first trade, but both trades have just done so many good things.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, both trades have done some amazing things for this team. You get rid of, we talked about this in our little group chat, where I sent a photo of the 3 worst plus minus players on the roster. And those were the 3 players that you traded. Those were Darius Garland, DeAndre Hunter, and Lonzo Ball. Mm-hmm. And you see a significant difference when you go and you get Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder, and then you go out there and you get James Harden. You saw a significant difference. I mean, look how much better the defense got with Keon Ellis on here. I mean, that dude's just a steel machine.
Yeah.
And Dennis Schroeder has been the same way. Dennis Schroeder's been playing impeccable defense, and then he's been giving you some good offense too. Mm-hmm. So you could already see a change there on the bench. And then, when it comes to James Harden, yeah, he only had 11, 12 points last night, and a lot of it was just from the free throw line, but he also dropped 11 assists. So, yeah, he was not having the greatest scoring nights, but he was moving that ball around. He was getting people involved, and we all saw the behind the back pass to Jalen Tyson for the dunk. So I think James Harden's fitting in perfectly right away, and like you said, he realizes this is Donovan's team and that he's not going to get away with Donovan Mitchell and what he does. Right. But like I said, just because he didn't score a whole lot, he facilitated a lot. He got you assists. He got you double-digit assists. He had a low-key double-double. And then what has this done? It's made Jared Allen so much better. I mean, Jared Allen has looked impeccable since the arrival of James Harden. And I know it's going to do great things when Mobley comes back as well. And this team's probably going to be firing on all cylinders. The bench has looked even better, too. Once you got rid of Lonzo Ball and DeAndre Hunter, that bench has looked so much better.
Oh, yeah.
Like miles better. I mean, just looking at guys like Thomas Bryant, like he's been really, people haven't talked about him much lately, but he's been pretty good over the last couple of games.
Yeah. Like his minutes are always good.
His minutes are good. And the thing is, it's what I hated about him last year when we lost to Indiana in the playoffs was that he is just a physical monster. He is not afraid to get dirty. And it's the same thing with Naquan Tomlin. Naquan Tomlin's not afraid to, get a technical foul. He gets a foul called. I mean, he's sitting there clapping in the ref's face. Like he's all about it, and he's not afraid to get physical. I mean, he was I mean, when watching him play against Luka Doncic, I mean, he was all up on him. He got that steal and those 2 steals and those dunks off of Luka, and it's like this kid's not afraid of anybody,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And this is a guy who didn't play basketball his whole life either.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you got 2 physical guys in Naquan Tomlin and Thomas Bryant ready to come off the bench and just wreak havoc all over the place. The only concern I have with this team is that we are still terrible at giving up second chance opportunities. We give up far too many offensive rebounds, and that's the only thing that's killing us.
Yeah.
Because if we limit those offensive rebounds, no one can stop us.
No.
But that's the problem, is that we give up way too many, and that's how teams score a lot against us, is that they get these second chance opportunities. I mean, I saw the game yesterday where we gave up 4 offensive rebounds in a row because they kept missing layups and they kept getting their own rebound and they chucked it out for a 3 and they made the 3 instead.
Right.
So they missed 4 twos and then it still ended up with the 3 at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's like, you can't do that because, you know, come playoff time, that's going to kill you and that's going to kill momentum. So you can't, you know, there's got to be a way to fix the offensive, the rebounding situation, not let other teams get a ton of offensive rebounds. Because I think we gave up, I think it was 19 offensive rebounds. I have the stats up here, actually. I don't know why, I just haven't looked at it. We gave up 19 offensive rebounds, so I was right. And we had only 15 of our own. So they have 4 more offensive rebounds than we did. So for the Cavs, it's got to be a lot better on the glass, you know. We're getting good defensive rebounds. We're you know, I think they had 21 defensive rebounds. We had 35.
Yeah.
But it's just allowing them to get offensive rebounds that's killing us.
Well, in like at least what's been nice is that Jared Allen has been pretty much getting a double almost every night that he's been playing for the last week and a half, which is good. I've started to notice that his rebounding is getting better, and I think it kind of goes back. Like, I think that finger injury that he had might have messed with him a lot more up here than anything else. And I don't know because if he's gotten over that now that it's been better, but he has been better. But, you know, obviously once we get Mobley back, I think that, you know, the issue with the offensive rebounds is going to stop, because we've been playing small ball. Like, our current lineup has been obviously Jared at the 5, and then you're playing Jalen Tyson at your 4, who is 6'6". You're playing Merrill at your 3, who is also about 6'6" or 6'5". You know, you have Donovan at 6'2", and then Harden at 6'5". So it's not like Houston where you have every guy is above 6'8" or, you know, 6'9" in your starting lineup. And so that is going to kill you. And size is not, it's not something we really have a lot of. Like, even with the trades that, that we made, I think we got a little bit smaller. I know Ellis is still about like 6'3" but Schroeder's like 6'1". But at least he's more physical. I would like to see a few more minutes of Bryant. Again, just because I like how he can also stretch the floor a little bit. Like, you can technically put him at a 4 if you really want to, because he can shoot the 3 pretty freaking well. Like, his corner threes, dimes. But he's a pretty good straight up shooter when it's more of a catch and shoot type of thing. So, but Mobley, once he comes back, will be fine. I think when Dean Wade will get back, it'll be even better. Because it'll give us some more size finally. I think the biggest disappointment so far this year has been the fact that Larry Nance Jr. has just been like, you almost forget that he's on the team because of just how little he ever impacts the game. He's never really in games right now because he's been hurt so much that his minutes are just screwed now. Like, he doesn't really have a place on the team. Tomlin is size, but Tomlin isn't a very physical guy in terms of his build. He's still pretty tall and skinny, but at least he's athletic and he gives a crap ton of effort, and he's fun to play. As you said, he's got a lot of energy. But yeah, it's just the lack of size, and the Cavs have always been a better rebounding team when Mobley is in, and that's what ends up eating away a lot of rebounds for Jarrett. So if the both of them can get that like sort of 8 rebound a game average, that would be beautiful. But there is no reason at all why at least Jared Allen or Mobley should be having a double-double every single night that they play together. Especially with James Harden, they're going to get so many looks, especially at the rim, off the pick and roll. Like, it's going to be beautiful. And Jared Allen has been having a crap ton of fun with it because that's where he eats. And that's what we've been missing because Garland was not quite as efficient and good at playing off the pick and roll the way that Harden does. Because Harden can quite literally manipulate what is going to happen off the pick and roll. Or he has the ability to make some incredible passes like the one he did to Jalen Tyson last night, where it was literally behind the back between two different defenders, right to Tyson, able to get a free dunk. You just weren't getting that with Garland. And that's the tough part about the business of like, you like Garland as the person, but you see what this team can do with Harden. It's like, it's almost like a whole new team. And it only took one or two guys to get traded.
Yeah.
I mean, and it sucks because Hunter was as a guy that we brought in last year that we thought was going to be a part of the future and being able to give size at the wing. And now you don't have size at the wing again. But now you almost don't need it because your size at the wing could be Dean Wade. And it's like, okay, like that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised that he made it through the trades, but this team just has a lot more potential now. They're in a much better spot and the vibes are clearly in such a better spot. And I think Kenny is having a crap ton of fun coaching it as well. Like I think he's starting to enjoy the coaching more because his lineups are becoming a little more consistent and he's got two or three great guys that he knows that he can constantly count on, where I don't know if he really had a lot of confidence in really counting on a guy like Garland, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. He didn't have much confidence in a guy like Garland because number one, like he just couldn't stay on the floor long enough to make
Yeah.
an impact because this is a second toe injury and this him getting smacked in the face a ton is he's been off the floor a lot. So now you bring in a guy who's durable and James Harden and he's dropping assists, but he's also getting buckets. And that's the thing about Garland was that it was either or. It was either he was dropping dimes or he was getting buckets. He wasn't doing it both in the same. But the thing is that he wasn't really getting Mobley or Allen involved too much, and it almost rendered Mobley and Allen just kind of useless. And before we made these trades, you see Mobley and Allen had to do more ISO work to get their buckets rather than getting easy buckets from simplistic passes from guys like James Harden or guys like Donovan Mitchell crashing the basket and just floating one up. It was almost, oh no, if Mobley and Allen want a bucket, they had to do it themselves,
Right.
or fight for an offensive rebound to get a quick bucket. So it makes it easier now to watch James Harden just feed Allen and just let. I mean, I never seen Allen get so many easy buckets in his life before.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it took one pass, and next thing you know, a little quick mismatch. And I think that's the thing about Harden is he knows it's a mismatch quicker than Garland did. And as
Yeah.
soon as he saw it, he immediately just dumped it to Allen, and Allen just turned around, laid off the glass, and in like it's nothing. It's like, see, that's just quick buckets. Whereas Garland would see it, but then he would be like, no, go. Hey, I got this. And he'd start trying to dribble and do a little too much, and then he'll fumble the ball off his foot, or he'll drive and miss the layup, or he'll drive, kick it out, and we don't get a bucket. And it's like, just hit the mismatch, man. Like you see the big mismatch, just hit it. And that's what you see about Hart is he sees the mismatch, he goes, "Oh, easy bucket, got that," and
Yeah.
he just tosses it to Allen. It's like, boom, nice, easy. Or he sees Allen streaking and Allen's open for just a nice easy dunk or something, and
He's
Garland wouldn't do
yeah,
that.
I mean, because he's clearly able to make the passes.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I would say I think always my biggest gripe with Garland in the way that he sort of handled the other like the offense was
he did seem
um
confident.
with that, but like he would have this tendency to like I don't know, like almost he would almost try to be too quick, too fast. Like he would try to use his
Hmm.
shiftiness to his advantage, and then would just end up getting him in trouble. And then he would turn the ball over. So it's almost like he was trying to rush himself through everything, where you
Yeah.
don't really get that with Harden. Harden's poised, um, and the pace is still there. Like Harden is still able to kind of push the pace or slow it down, but you have the ability to kind of do a little bit of both, and do it well. So I think that is one of the biggest things. The other thing too is Garland would get a little, I don't necessarily want to say lazy, but he would get complacent in wanting to shoot threes a lot more than
Hmm.
he needed to, or what the moment asked for. And it would really ruin the pace of games as well when he would do that. So, and that could just come with his youth. I don't know, but you don't really get that with Harden because you're getting quality over quantity with him, even though he still has the ability to drop 50 at any given moment. I mean, Harden still has that in him. But Donovan's been the guy that's been averaging over 30 points a game, um, cooking, being able to play off him and still be able to play his game. And yeah, man, it's just been really, really good to see, and it's really hard for us, Kick-Ass fans, to not get excited about what we're seeing. Again, it's only 3 games. We played two pretty bad teams. I mean, obviously, Washington is very bad. They're probably one of the worst teams in the league, and really the Kings are too. I mean, the Kings have been terrible down the last stretch of this part of the season, but Denver was a good team, and you beat them
Yeah.
at Denver. The only thing I will say is Jokic was clearly tired because he has not played in a while. This is only like his 3rd game back, I think. So he was clearly out of breath and not really in full game shape. So he wasn't really able to be the one to kill us. But dude, Jamal Murray, every time we play him, man, he is like a guaranteed bucket for them. He is just an awesome player. But the guys continue to battle, and they just have the right mindset. I think the trades just made sense, and everybody seems to kind of fit right where they need to, and it's working. And this was what us Cavs fans were talking about for 2 months throughout the season, of being like, guys, you can see it. Like, this isn't working. We need to figure it out. We need to find another solution, because this current team and how the make of it is, it's not working. And what even
Yeah.
sucks more now for Garland, Garland is still out, and they might hold him out for longer now. They might not push him back because the Clippers are in a potential spot where they're going to start rebuilding, it sounds like, or at least make some adjustments in what their plan was originally with Harden and Kawhi. I don't see how you can move on from Kawhi, because he's playing his best freaking basketball that he has played in years. Like, he's dropping 40 points a game right now. Just hit a game winner, I think, last night. So you can't move on from a guy like that. But you move on from Harden, you get Garland, so you get younger. You know, Clearly they're going to change a little bit of pace. But the Cavs are in win now mode, and not only do I not blame them for doing this, I am relieved that they did this, because I think it could very well turn around this season for the better. And as you said, at this point, it really doesn't matter what seed you are. I would say get a top 4 seed in the playoffs and let it rip. Let it rip. Be fearless, because every team that's played you over the last few years, they've all said the same things. You're not tough enough. Okay, so
Yeah.
you made some adjustments to get tougher. What are you going to do now? Are you going to live up to it now, and you guys are going to make the changes? Or are you going to go back into your shell, um, and be scared? So, yeah, this is a big test for a lot of reasons. And I think that's what excites fans a lot, is this really is a chance for them to kind of redeem themselves after what happened last year. And the way that we started, like, last year, we were really spoiled. And so now that things are getting better, the Cavs are rolling. They're rolling right at a good time. Like, this is the time to start playing good basketball. It's right around All-Star break. So they will get a chance after All-Star break to also practice, which is going to be huge. Man, teams better look out for this Cavs team the next 2 months, because they can do some serious damage, and I think they're officially on notice at this point.
Yeah, I think everyone's taking notice now that the Cavs are back, and the Cavs are gonna not be easy to take down. So it's gonna be interesting to see how these last 2 months go, or at least the next month and a half. But this Cavs team looks so much different. They look so much better. They look a lot more efficient. They look more fluid offensively. They look even better defensively. And the fact that it took only a couple moves to get like this is absolutely crazy. I know people were skeptical about the James Harden move from the jump, and I hear the whole situation of, can I just be sad that my favorite player is gone? Like, sure you can, but to give an idiotic take afterwards is what people are griping with you about. It's not so much that you miss Darius Garland. It's the fact
Mhm.
that you thought Darius Garland was like fighting for an MVP, and we just traded an MVP caliber candidate away for a guy who's 36 and averaging 4 points a game.
Yeah.
Like, it's baffling because I never understood those people who are like, I can't believe we traded Darius Garland away for James Harden. Do you know how old James Harden is? I was
Yeah.
like, do you understand how much better James Harden is at 36 years old compared to Darius Garland at 26? I was like, do you just not care about statistics and just watching the guy play? Like, it makes no sense. It truly baffles me. Like, I get it. The best player on the team is, or not the best player, but a guy you liked on the team who's been with us for a while is gone, and you didn't
Mhm.
expect him to be gone. And this is why, like, I don't get attached to players, because I understand this is a business and people can go at any time. And so I will never get attached. Now, are there going to be moves where I'm like, I don't know why we did this? It kind of
Right.
didn't make sense. Sure. But to me, this is one of those moves. This move made complete and total sense. It was like, why would we want to make this move? We just got 10 times better by making
Yeah.
this move. Like, I get it. Again, I get it. Garland was your favorite player, but sitting there saying, oh my God, I can't believe we traded Garland. We're going to be so bad now because we got a 36-year-old James Harden. Okay, then don't watch basketball if you're going to get too emotionally attached to players. Like, understand this move makes you better. And guess what? Now they're like, I need to apologize because James Harden's absolutely killing it. It's like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Like, it makes no sense to get upset over something so stupid. So to those people, like, go ahead, get emotionally attached to players, but understand that this is a business and teams are going to do whatever it takes to make the proper decisions. And if your favorite player leaves, okay, so what? What if it was for something better, like in this situation? You're gonna get mad because we got a better player?
Right. Like,
Uh,
clearly we got better. We
yeah.
got so much better.
And you're mad about getting better? Like, don't watch basketball. Don't watch sports then. And then just come out, I'm so sorry that I acted this way. I'm so sorry I said this was a terrible trade. Like, you're just reacting emotionally to a guy and guess what? Darius Garland doesn't know you.
Yeah.
So why are you getting emotionally attached to players? These people don't know you. I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, my sweet sweet Darius Garland is gone. It's not like I talked to him before. I'm sure he's a phenomenal guy, but it's not like I was his lover or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, he's gone.
Well, it's like, what it's like what Donovan said. He's like, dude, he's literally gonna be in my wedding. Like, it's still a brotherhood. Like, there's nothing against him at
Yeah,
all. It's just this is the business. And like
that's exactly.
Harden kind of said it too last night, where he's like, loyalty doesn't really mean much in this league anymore. Like, it's a business. And I'm like, I
Yeah,
mean, it's true. I mean, look what LeBron did. Like, you remember how betrayed us Cats fans felt when
yeah,
LeBron first
for
left us.
sure.
And ever since then, it's like, okay, like this is a business, and like it's
Well,
just how it goes, bro.
and after he won a couple titles with Miami, you're like, okay, I kind of get it now because
Yeah.
we were gonna get there with the Cavs
No.
because you're not gonna get there with Mo Williams and JJ Hickson and some of these other guys.
And
Like,
Mike Brown is your head coach. I mean, come
yeah,
on.
I can see why you wanted to go to Miami to play with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade. It totally makes sense. And now that you grew up and thought about it, it's like, okay, yeah, that totally makes a lot of sense.
Right. And guess what? Guess what? He came back and he won one. Could have won two
Yeah.
or three. If Golden State didn't uh assemble the Avengers to beat him,
Or if we just didn't get
we
injured in 2015 because
yeah, 2015.
because if Kelly Olynyk didn't pull out Kevin Love's shoulder and Kyrie didn't shred his ankle, we would
No,
have won
knee.
that title.
Knee. It was his knee.
Oh yeah, his knee, because we would have won that title because it was a close series. It was like a game 6 series or
Yep.
whatever.
Yep. We
And
lost in game 6.
if I remember right, every game was decided by like 5 or less or something. There was like no blowout game.
Brother, LeBron could have won MVP as the losing team.
Yeah.
Like, that's how good he was. Now, he was the same way in 2018, but 2018 LeBron was just another level of human. But like 2015 LeBron, like game 2, the way that he carried us after everything that had that happen with Kyrie going down in overtime in game 1 and losing the way that you did, for LeBron to win that game, he was so. You remember how hyped that dude was? Because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we won game 3.
We
'Cause
won
that
game
was
3.
because that was a game that Delhi almost physically died from trying to defend Steph Curry for 48 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
he was dehydrated. So
That dude was a fallen soldier for real.
yeah, I know, dude. They just ran out of fumes. Like, it's just that is what it is. But 2016 will always live in our hearts, and like, it's 10 years later. Ohio State won theirs last year. If you recall, Ohio State won their first night. Well, I wouldn't say the first, but the last, natty in 2015, and then the Cavs won 2016. Well, they won in 2025. Let's see if the Cavs can win in 2026.
Hey, and that would be exactly a decade later.
Yeah. So like, all I'm saying is it could happen. And if it does, this title would mean a little bit more, I think, than the LeBron one, because I feel like when LeBron came here, you felt like you were kind of guaranteed one, at least.
Yeah.
Um,
But this would mean more just for the fact that this is the post LeBron era and you're supposed to be a lottery team.
and I think people like Donovan a lot more as a human, like, because we don't deal with all of the drama that you had to with LeBron. The passive aggressive tweets, the weird interviews where he would kind of throw guys under the
Under the
bus, but then
bus.
also not. Like, it was such a weird vibe. And I mean, Kyrie literally talked about that. He's like, listen, playing with LeBron is a different human, and like there's level of pressure that comes with it. And it was just my time to leave, and it wasn't anything against him or anything like that. Like, it was, great. He's like, I wish I would have left in a better spot though, because I'm sure Kyrie 100% regrets leaving the way that he did, but I don't think he ever regrets leaving itself, because I think it was bound to happen when his ego started getting that way. But again, he was young enough to where he was popping off and doing what he needed to do. He's like, hey, like, I have the ability to go ahead and, be my own guy, like be the guy. So why not just do it?
Yeah.
So I don't blame him for it at all. But again, this team is built really, really well. I think this team is much deeper than the 2016 team, and that was a pretty deep team. This team's deep. Like, this team can go 9 or 10 guys deep every game, like even going into conference finals. Like, this is a team that can play guys 17 minutes in a playoff game. That's Keon Ellis and Schroeder and Dean Wade. Those guys all need minutes. Tomlin can get 10 to 15 minutes in a playoff series and give you some juice off the bench, give you 5 points, but a block and a steal. Like, that stuff matters in playoff games, and I think you're getting that from those players. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And I think it was really smart for Harden to come back to the East, because the East is a lot easier to get through right now than the West. And it's pretty much been that way for quite a few years now. The West has been continuously stronger. The East is in a really good spot for you to win, a title, with just how injuries are right now. The Pacers are pretty deadlocked right now. Boston's still good, but they're in still a weird spot. Toronto's in a weird spot. I don't know. There's just a lot of weird teams. The Knicks, Detroit, us. Like, I don't know. The East is just in a very, very intriguing spot, and I think it made sense for him to come here.
Yeah, I completely agree. It made total sense. And, it makes me excited for the playoffs because I think this Cavs team is going to look really, really good in the postseason. And I think this is going to be a chance where they could actually, with the weakened Eastern Conference, this is a chance they could actually make the finals. And, as I said before, making the finals, hell, I think even making the Eastern Conference finals will allow you to re-sign Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Because, he's the guy who hasn't gotten past the second round. And if you can get to that third round of the Eastern Conference Finals or the finals, I think he's going to stick around because he's going to be like, okay, this team's willing to build around me. And we actually made it deeper than the second round. So this team has got what it takes. And we just need to stay the course and we can actually win one here. So I think he understands that, if he doesn't get past the second round these next 2 seasons before he's up again, hey, I don't blame him for wanting to leave. I would too. But, if it's one of those things where if he does make it, then he's going to be like, I'm going to stick around because this team is super, super close. It's just, again, we need another one of those 1 or 2 more players that could really lift us over the top and really get us to those finals. And like I said, in the last podcast or the podcast before or something, where you don't have Jason Tatum. If anything, Jason Tatum probably isn't going to come back until the postseason. And Tyrese Halliburton is probably not even going to play a single game this season.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to even make the playoffs at this point. So this is your opportunity to make it to the finals because you have a weakened Celtics team that's very, very beatable. Yeah, they're streaking a little bit right now. They're playing good ball, but they're very, very they're not as good as they were last season or the season prior.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
And the Knicks are always beatable and choking. So I truly believe that this is the opportunity to make a run. And I think if we would have beaten the Pacers last year, we probably would have made it. So this is the team to do it. And, this team looks so much better. And again, the upcoming test is going to really not determine a whole lot, but it's going to show how close the Cavs are to teams like OKC and the Knicks and whatnot. And if you could beat those teams after the All-Star break, then everyone's going to start talking about you like, okay, this Cavs team is nothing to sneeze at because they just beat OKC. They just beat New York. They just beat Boston, and they beat them. It's not just by a buzzer beater. They beat them. They beat them by double digits. They beat them pretty good. Like, this Cavs team is a little scary right now, and we should keep our eyes peeled to this team because if we sleep on them, next thing you know, you're gonna wake up and they're hoisting the trophy, and you're gonna be like, wait, what the hell just happened? How did the Cavs win this year? So this isn't a team to snooze on. It's the same thing we talked about with the Guardians last season when teams slept on the Guardians because they were 15 and a half back and they, objects in the mirror closer than they appear. And Detroit looked back a little bit and they saw the Guardians come straight past them. And, the Guardians almost took them down that wild card. It took them 3 games that took it to like the 7th inning for Detroit to even take the lead and secure it, because if they didn't, that it would have been a rough year for Detroit fans. So, but that's another sport for another day, because baseball doesn't start for another week.
Yeah, we're getting there. Listen, we probably won't be able to really talk too much about spring training, just besides the fact that it starts. But obviously, there's not going to be a whole lot going on for spring training, so it's going to be probably Cavs here for a little while until we start getting a little bit closer to draft time for at least the NFL. We could get back to doing some mock drafts here, like I don't know, in another month or so. Because I know the combine should be coming up here pretty soon.
I think it's next month, I want to say.
I think it's less time than that, to be honest with you.
I'm going to take a look real quick. NFL combine.
I'm sorry, I just want to draft, not combine.
Usually the combine will be February 23rd to March 2nd. So it would be February 23rd to March 2nd is the combine.
So, yeah, end of the month. So literally in about a week and a half.
Next Monday.
Yeah. Which is pretty dope. So yeah, we're gonna get that, which means we're gonna be able to get better scores. We're gonna get a better look at certain guys that are, higher up on boards than what they probably were. Or guys could absolutely skyrocket up boards because of how good they score. Yeah. So it's just gonna depend. That's the beautiful thing. But if you're on Twitter, you've seen Browns fans posting their their mock draft. So us at some point we're going to be doing our own, but we're going to wait a little bit before we do all that. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got on the Cavs and really just the episode in general.
Yeah,
at least for me. If you have anything else to add, feel free.
No, let them know. Go Cavs. Before I forget to do this, guys, check out our sponsor, Effortless Wins, for sports betting advice and plays to boost your wins. Talk to Tony or Greg. Links will be in the description of Spotify and YouTube. Comment on YouTube. Baseball season is literally starting next Sunday or Saturday. We have spring training starting Friday, but the Guardians play on Saturday next week. So spring training is arriving, and now's the time to start locking in and talking to these guys and getting ready for the upcoming MLB season. Obviously, you still have NBA season to go through, so make sure you guys get some talks with them. And it's time to win some money this year, especially on the upcoming summer.
Oh yeah, 100%. Get locked in, because it's going to be coming sooner than later. We don't have any more football. It means you got basketball, you got baseball.
Got March Madness coming up.
Yeah, that's true. You're going to have that as well.
Bracketology will be coming for us.
Yep. So depending on where you live, I guess we'll be able to kind of determine what you're going to be able to bet on. Because like us, we can't do player props here in college. It's just strictly money lines and
spreads and
spreads and stuff. So yeah, so not really much for us to do there. But if you live in Florida, you have all of the fun stuff. So yeah. Get on it, because these guys know what they are talking about. But yeah, guys, that is going to do it for the episode. I'm glad there was no audio issues this time. This time around, I think what helped is the dog didn't decide to come in here. So before she does, I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and we will see y'all next time.